Revelations and cross-accusations between former presidential secretary Cho Eung-chun and Jeong Yun-hoe emerge as the memo leak scandal deepens. More than 50 sailors remain missing after a South Korean fishing boat capsized earlier this week. We ask why more sailors weren't rescued. And North Korea refuses to acknowledge the UN Human Rights Resolution against it. Seoul will seek a referral to the UN Security Council within the year. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, December 3rd. I'm Luke Clary. A scandal involving a former president's aide has led to numerous revelations and cross-accusations between Cho Eung-chun, a former presidential secretary, and Park Geun-hye's former chief secretary from her time in Parliament, Jeong Yun-hoe.
In a phone call with his acquaintance, Cho Eung-chun, a former presidential secretary in charge of inspection of senior officials, said that after reporting about an internal document involving Jeong Yun-hoe, Jeong tried to call him in April, but he didn't answer. Cho said following that incident, he was bewildered to be told by Jae-man, the incumbent presidential secretary for general affairs, to answer Jeong's call. This differs from Lee's remark made in Parliament in July that he never met Jeong in the past 10 years. In a phone call with KBS, Jeong Yun-hoe, a former Park aide, explained that he tried to call Cho regarding allegations that he played a role in shadowing the trail of the president's younger brother. Jeong said he simply asked Lee over the phone to help him out with getting a phone call to Cho. The presidential office said it's true Lee had a phone call with Jeong, but that they did not meet face-to-face. The office also said the internal presidential document about Jeong's activities is over 60% authentic.
어느 쪽으로든 결이 잡혀야 된다는 생각에서 그하고 내가 또 계속 입 다물고 있으면 그게 지켜질 그런 상황도 아니고.
Jeong countered the claim, saying the document is false and fabricated. Jeong also argued that former presidential secretary Cho intervened in producing the document.
박경정이 저한테 또 한 얘기가 정전 비서관이 이렇게 써라. 예. 지시를 해서 그대로 썼다. 이게 정확한 멘트입니다.
With the ever-escalating scandal, the presidential office said it will submit phone records of related parties. It also called on Cho to refrain from one-sided claims and cooperate with the prosecution's investigation.
Last Monday, a South Korean fishing boat capsized in the Bering Sea off Russia. It took the boat 4.5 hours to sink completely, which is enough time to have evacuated the crew, but only 8 crew members were rescued. Here's more on how the boat capsized and why so many people went missing.
At the time of the accident, the waves in the Bering Sea were 4 meters high, and gusty winds were blowing at 20 meters a second. As the weather conditions continued to deteriorate, the Oryong crew began to lift the nets at the ship's tail in order to evacuate to a nearby port. Sajo Industries, the operator of the sunken boat, says seawater gushed into the boat at around noon when the crew were moving the fish from the nets to a container. The firm says that the boat started to tilt because too much water flowed into the fish container. As a result, the fish were swept to one side, clogging the drain.
조업 중에 물이 한꺼번에 들어오면 홍수 때 하수구가 막히는 것처럼 배수구도 막힐 수 있습니다.
The crew struggled for 3.5 hours to recover the boat's balance by using drainage pumps, but to no avail. When the order to abandon ship was issued at 4 p.m., 4 lifeboats were tossed into the sea and the crew jumped into the water. But only 4 of the crew managed to get into one lifeboat. No one else was able to get into any of the remaining 3 boats. Most of the crew were apparently swept away by the high waves. At around 5 p.m., the Oryong disappeared into the Bering Sea, and only 8 of its 60-member crew were rescued.
This year's National College Entrance Examination, disputed for a number of faulty questions, has been marked and the scores are out. And a record number of perfect scores in the English and Math B sections means competition will intensify when it comes to college admissions.
The college scholastic aptitude test has been marked and the scores are out. The most glaring outcome is the high number of perfect scores in math and English. 4.3% of all who took the Math Type B exam got full marks. It's a record percentage, and it means that this year only a perfect score can earn the top level 1 in Math B.
시간만 많으면 풀 수 있는 문제가 나와서 별로 어려움을 느끼지 못했던 것 같아요.
The situation is similar in English with an all-time high of 3.4% of students getting perfect scores.
2014학년도부터는 이제 만점자 비율을 기본적으로 출제 과정에서 고려하지 않았습니다.
The prevalence of perfect scores makes assessing student test performance quite a challenge. This is more serious for the many science students who had opted to take the relatively easier Math B test. For the top percentile level 1, the combined standard scores for Korean, English, and Math show that the difference in the highest and the lowest scores in the level has dwarfed to a mere 5 points this year from 17 points last year. This means a lot more students with similar test scores are concentrated in the same level this year. As a result, upper-ranked students in humanities and mid to upper-ranked students in science are expected to face stiff competition in college admissions. They'll need to carefully study the enrollment conditions for each school they're applying to. The college entrance exam report card will be distributed to students on Wednesday, while universities will begin receiving admissions applications from December 19th.
North Korea has officially notified the United Nations of its refusal to accept its human rights resolution. The South Korean government is pushing for referring North Korea's human rights issue to the UN Security Council within the year.
North Korea has officially announced its stance on the human rights resolution passed by the Third Committee of the UN General Assembly. The statement was delivered to UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon on November 24th and posted on the UN website last Tuesday. Signed by the North Korean ambassador to the UN, Cha Sung-nam, the statement says that North Korea firmly refuses to accept the resolution. It says that because of Washington's hostile policies towards Pyongyang, the European Union and Japan chose confrontation with North Korea. Pyongyang also threatened to conduct more nuclear tests as it did when the resolution was passed.
In their attempts to eliminate the state and social system of the DPRK is compelling us not to refrain any further from conducting nuclear tests.
Pyongyang announced it will stay its course regardless of whether the resolution is passed. The resolution, which calls for referring the human rights situation in the North to the International Criminal Court, is likely to be passed at the UN General Assembly slated for the third week of this month. Meanwhile, sources say Seoul and Washington are pushing to include the resolution as part of the official agenda of the UN Security Council, regardless of whether it's passed by the General Assembly.
North Korea has always reacted sensitively to a light tower at South Korea's Eggybong Hill in Gimpo. The tower was torn down in October, and a brightly lit Christmas tree is expected to take its place. The Defense Ministry has approved a request by a Christian group to set up the Christmas tree on the peak.
This year, a 9-meter-tall Christmas tree will adorn the former site of the Eggybong Light Tower. It will be about a third of the now removed 30-meter tower. The tree won't be as bright as the light tower, but the tree lights are still expected to be seen in the North Korean border city of Kaesong at night.
평화를 기원하는 점등 행사를 하는 취지와 종교 활동을 보장하는 차원에서 한국 기독교 총연합회 요청을 수용하였습니다.
The South Korean military tore down the light tower in October, just 5 days after an exchange of fire between the two Koreas in the wake of South Korean civic groups sending anti-North Korea leaflets in balloons across the border. The military said the tower was removed because the steel frame was outdated and dangerous. But the decision drew criticism that the government was being lenient to North Korea. The military's go-ahead for the Christmas tree plan is seen as an effort in taking critical public opinion into consideration. The tree will be lit for 2 weeks from December 23rd to January 6th. Whether and how North Korea will respond is now gathering attention.
Mount Songni in North Chungcheong Province is now blanketed in snow, drawing scores of tourists to a millennial Buddhist temple located on the mountain.
A cozy temple nestled on a mountain slope is covered with snow that has fallen overnight. The snow on the roof tiles makes the temple look even more inviting to visitors. Icy wind blows the snow away, while the tinkling of bells resonates through the temple grounds. Visitors capture the beautiful winter scenery of the temple in their hearts.
목닥치는 그 소리가 가슴을 찌르듯 그 사람 마음도 눈같이 깔끔하고 깨끗해지는 것 같고.
A monk sweeps the snow from the yard while visitors wash away their concerns with refreshing mineral spring water.
꼭 아주 어디 그 신선 세계에 들어온 것 같아요. 아주 산속에 저 바위하고 나무하고 거기에 이 절까지 딱 어우러져 있어서 가지 말고 여기서 살고 싶어요.
As it has done for 1,000 years before, this temple on Mount Songni has transformed with the snowfall this winter.
The year 2014 is almost over, and it's time to bid farewell to the year in style. A number of comical stage plays are being staged to give people the chance to laugh and wrap up the year in an upbeat mood.
Mr. Kim, a Vietnam War veteran, still lives with old memories about his subordinate, Private Kim. The elderly Kim boasts about his combat experience as a member of the ski unit in Vietnam. The audience is moved after learning that the old man has remained a bachelor due to complications from the Agent Orange used during the war, but has been taking care of the children of Private Kim, who was killed in combat.
지루할 틈이 없던데요. 네, 너무 재밌었습니다.
This comical play, based on a Japanese story, is about four men meeting in a secret room to indulge in their strange hobbies. But their relationship turns sour when they learn of the murder of their female friend. Extreme tension fills the air as they suspect one another of the crime. The audience is fascinated by the solid plot filled with twists and turns and the witty elements found in the story. Korean audiences can wrap up their year by enjoying these unique and comical plays from Korea and Japan.
Koreans can enjoy a number of performances at the end of the year. One highly anticipated event is the year-end dinner show marking the 55th anniversary of popular trot diva Lee Mi-ja's debut. That and other showbiz news are coming up right now.
Queen of the Elegy Lee Mi-ja is marking the 55th anniversary of her debut with a year-end dinner show. It's an occasion which celebrates her musical career, which began in 1959 with Pure Love at 19 and spanned 55 years. In that time, she has released 560 albums and more than 2,000 songs. Lee Mi-ja said she planned the dinner concert for members of the older generations who would listen to her songs during hard times. Art Garfunkel of the world-famous duo Simon and Garfunkel is to visit Korea for the first time. The folk rock duo shot to worldwide stardom with songs like The Sound of Silence, featured in the movie The Graduate. Garfunkel plans to hold a concert on February 14th of next year in Seoul's Chamsil Gymnasium. Actor Tae-woong will be the newest member of The Return of Superman on KBS, the highest-rated Sunday variety show. The actor will join the show with his 18-month-old daughter, Ji-yeon, born just last year. replaces hip-hop singer Tablo and his daughter, who are leaving the show over scheduling conflicts.
Cornered by large supermarkets, traditional outdoor markets are transforming themselves to overcome the business crisis that they're facing. While retaining their charms as traditional markets, they're embracing modern systems to boost convenience for shoppers. Let's take a look. This is a traditional outdoor market in Seoul. Charged with charms, the market is always bustling with shoppers.
시장에서요 한 50년, 60년대 이전 물건들서부터 그 이후 물건을 다 볼 수 있는 게 바로 이 장소예요.
The market sells a wide variety of items from the 1970s and 1980s, like school uniforms. Young people don't miss the chance to try them on.
말죽거리 장사의 건사무가 된 느낌?
The shop owner offers a special service, taking instant photos of the customers.
시장에 자주 와. 네, 고맙습니다.
The market is full of nostalgic memories.
디지털 시대라고 뭐다 해가지고 이런 뭐 아날로그 감성 느낄 수 있는 데가 많이 없잖아요. 그래가지고 이런 거 한번 체험해보고 하니까 되게 좋은 추억 되고.
In this market, it's easy to encounter long playing records that were explosively popular among older generations. The sounds of the old records take people back in time.
한 번 나와본 사람들은 거진 중독이 된다고 봐요.
In the market, children can get a glimpse into the lives of their elders. It's also a good place for foreign tourists to briefly experience Korea's past.
It's many things. It's great. It's a great market.
옛날 생각이 많이 나죠. 왜요? 이제 우리가 어렸을 때 보던 거 제가 다 있으니까.
But a market in northern Seoul has presented a way traditional markets can transform. The market seems to sell all kinds of products from clothes to daily necessities and fresh foods. The greatest virtue of traditional open-air markets is that they sell quality products at lower prices.
물건이 매일 새로 들어와서 싱싱하고 싸요. 좀 빼달라고 그러면 이렇게 사장님이 좀 빼주시고 근수도 더 많이 주고 그래서 자주 이용해요.
A digital guide map helps shoppers find their way in the huge crowded market. Good eateries are also an indispensable part of the market. This shop is well known for delicious fried snacks called bindaeong. The owner's long beard is also famous along with the food.
수염에 대한 것은 이제 모든 사람이 생각이 다 틀려요. 어떤 사람은 아주 뭐 좋다고 그런 사람도 있고 또 아주 나쁘다고 그러신 분들 막 홀통치는 분도 있어요.
He has a strong passion for making bindaeong. The dish is so delicious that customers come back without fail once they've tried it.
을 보고 이 수염 아저씨 빈대떡을 하고 좀 서운합니다. 꼭 먹고 가요.
Traditional outdoor markets are full of things to eat, see, and enjoy. You might be surprised on your next visit. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.